Hey guys, this is I'm me discussing my ideas and theories through Flash Season 9. There's a new video, head down below, subscribe for new notifications on, showing plenty discussion about the Flash's final season, aka Season 9. We were set to get a trailer like 24 hours ago, point in time we're recording this, point in time you guys seeing this. That's why I didn't upload Monday night. And then that trailer ended up getting pushed to January, so thank you CW for screwing me over on content last night. For those who watch the Arrow reviews, I am still doing them, but I am done for the year with them. I didn't feel like uploading last week, and I didn't really have a lot of time to watch the Arrow episode for Monday night. So in 2023, I will pick up at the Arrow reviews. They will continue then. And we'll most likely do tier reviews and wait till Flash comes back on February 8th. Assuming, things don't get more chaotic in my life for timing. So that's what we're looking at right now. I just want to let you guys know on that real quick. But let's jump into the video. So, we have a lot of people appear in Flash Season 9. One of the many people that I am speculating who will appear is John Diggle. Now, we don't know if he will, and I'm pretty sure David has even said that he would like to. I don't remember or recall any of that, but honestly, he could be saying stuff behind the scenes. He could be appearing in it. The thing is that this is the last Arrowverse show standing. Justice U will most likely not be part of the Arrowverse. I would be somewhat surprised if it was at this point. That being said, we have a lot of people appearing in Flash Season 9. We have Chillame, who is now a series regular. We have Dreamer, Pied Piper, Hotness, Goldface, Red Death, Batwoman, Captain Boomerang, possibly Grodd in that trailer that we saw. Possibly the Spectre, which I did a full video over, by the way. The new Negative Speed Force Avatar, which is probably Cobalt Blue. And Murmur, who we saw in the trailer for Flash Season 9 that released last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever the hell it was. That's like 10 people right there on top of the already Team Flash members like Allegra, Chester, Cecile, Joe, who's leaving in the middle of the season, by the way. Iris, Barry, I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Caitlin, assuming whatever the hell character she's playing. So that's another like 7 or 8 right there. Like, it's a lot of people, and that's only people that we know of. There's undoubtedly stuff behind the scenes that they're doing with here for the final season. So we could be getting a ton more cameos than just all these. Now, if John Diggle does come back in Season 9, what would his role be? Because they ended Diggle's storyline in the Arrowverse in Season 8. There's no more Green Box. There's no more of that crap. The only way they can bring Diggle back is if it's to help Barry fight a speedster, because really there's no other reason for him to come back. Barry can handle any other threat, unless it's not a speedster. Like, that's, the only way Diggle would come back if it is related to a speedster, and if he has a device to help Barry take him down, like it did for Godspeed in Season 7, and it's his name. I was saying nothing connected to Barry. It was just wrapping up his storyline because they didn't know if they get Season 9. I'm sure if Eric Wallace knew if they were getting the 9th season to Flash, they would have saved that for Season 9 just to get Diggle back for the final season. But I am personally okay if we don't get Diggle back, because there's nothing we can really do with the character that wouldn't add on to him. Now, let's just say somehow, some way, Justice U is part of the Arrowverse, which originally was, but let's just assume that it is. Then there's a reason for Diggle to appear in Flash Season 9 to set up his own show. They could do whatever the hell they want with him in that episode or two, but then when he's leaving, it could set up a cliffhanger for Justice U being connected to the Arrowverse and it tying into the Flash. That is how they can do it. If Justice U and it learned, what that article that Comic Chris said, which no one really should believe in. I don't really care what Paige says. Months ago, I talked about it. But the guy said he talked to David Ramsey for like 2 minutes, and he said all this stuff about Flash Season 9 being the last, and Superman and Lois is, or whatever, I don't know the entire thing. But it didn't make any sense, and there was no way in hell that any of that could be legit. I'm pretty sure he came out later and said that it was pretty much fate. But the point is that what we are dealing with is where Justice U lays. Is it going to be part of the Arrowverse or Superman and Lois' crappy little world? Like, where are we going? And then we have Gotham Knights happening, which I would assume is part of Superman and Lois' world, because it's not part of the Arrowverse with the storyline they're doing. So that's already another show, assuming that is part of Superman and Lois' world, which I wouldn't be surprised, because the show is so crappy, it probably fit right in to that little world. But again, that's what we're dealing with. Another whole thing is, again, Justice U. If it's part of the Arrowverse, Diggle would have a reason to appear in the show, just to set up his own show. But if he's not appearing, or the show won't be a part of the Arrowverse, there's no reason to have him on. We've already wrapped up Arrowverse Diggle's story. Like I said already, the green box, no longer a thing. The only reason Diggle could come back, just for like fun, would to help Barry take down a speedster. Which would most likely be Cobalt Blue, assuming that's who it is. Or whoever the hell the Negative Speedverse Avatar is now. Or who it will be, I guess. Because who knows if it actually picked one. It probably did. Well, it's been a week in between Season 8 and Season 9. So probably not. Maybe it takes longer than a week. Who knows. But the point is that, you know, there's like two ways to come back. And then, like, that's it. They can't do anything else with Diggle. That's not Eric Walsh's fault. He didn't know Season 8 wouldn't be the last. They didn't find out that they were filming the last season of the finale. So they wouldn't have possibly ever known that it wasn't the last season. And with Next Star, I mean, they're straight up idiots and don't know what the hell they're doing with the CW anymore. So it's just like they don't really care about anything. David Ramsey was directing an episode for Superman and Lois Season 3, and The Flash is currently on 909 for filming. I wouldn't be sure that they're starting production for 910, but they're going to be done filming by probably February, which would be kind of ironic because that's when the season premieres, which I think is the first time they've actually gotten that done, where they're done filming before the season premieres, or around then, which is, it's likely purely because it's only 13 episodes, which again is ironic because Superman and Lois has 13, and they're still filming throughout the entirety while they're airing their season, or at least a majority of the season, because they need to make sure episodes look so good. What a joke. Anyways, any chance I get to take a dig at Superman and Lois, I will gladly take it anymore. Anyway, so could Diggle come back? Yes, but I wouldn't be too disappointed if he didn't. I would be more disappointed if Oliver didn't appear in the season than Dig, mainly because, again, it's the last Arrowverse show. There wouldn't be a Flash show without Oliver, literally. Whereas, like, Supergirl, you know, they got screwed over by COVID precautions and all that. And everyone being busy, like Grant and Steven. Well, I guess it's Grant, because Oliver's technically dead. But, I mean, Grant was filming The Flash, and I think he was. So, he couldn't have been there if he wanted to be. And schedules, again, wouldn't have worked out. But at the same time, there wasn't really a reason for her to be there. Right? Like, there wasn't. So, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to say, oh yeah, let's bring Barry into Supergirl's final season. Supergirl started long before Barry and Kara crossed over, before the two shows crossed over. That was in season 2 of Flash and season 1 of Supergirl. But even then, the show didn't get kickstarted because the Flash or Arrow, it just started. It was later connected to the Arrowverse through Arrow and Flash. But, you know, so it made sense as to why he wasn't in the final season, why Barry wasn't. But The Flash literally started on Arrow. Barry appeared in 209, and here we are, coming up on 10 years later, and this has been The Flash for a decade now. It was set up in 210, I think it was, at Arrow, that Barry was being struck by lightning and became the Flash a year later, which is where season 1 opens up, or 9 months, 10 months, somewhere around there. And, again, we kind of need Oliver in his final season. Diggle, while we love seeing Dig, again, do we really need him? His story arc's done. The only thing they can do for Dig, again, is bring a speedster that Barry needs help to defeat. Dig has a device to help defeat him, and they use it. Bring Cisco in for that then. Again, I love seeing Dig, but we also have a ton of people that everyone wants to see, like Cisco, Oliver, Wally. Those are 3 people right there that they can use to fill Dig's shoes in that position. So, unless they just bring Dig back for the hell of it, and don't connect it to Barry, which personally I wouldn't like to see. I would rather if Dig comes back as connected to Barry, and they at least get a scene together. Especially if Barry's done being the Flash after this season, at least for several years, because it does seem like that. In the trailer, it really does seem like Barry's going to hang up the cowl and quit being the Flash, at least for a while. Not saying permanently, because we know that's not permanent, especially in the future in the Earthbound comics. He's still the Flash. But I do think Barry does step back from being the Flash at the end of the season. And they probably decide that in the premiere in 902 that this will be the last time he's going to save the city, at least for several years, so that Barry and Alice can focus on their kids and raise them and protect them from the city. So that Barry's not always being the Flash and he doesn't have to miss out on things for their kids. I'm pretty sure that's where they're going. Now, assuming this doesn't lead to, Barry's identity being blown to the world, because if that happens, that's not going to happen in the show. Even though everyone knows Barry's the Flash. But, for Supergirl, it was different because, Kara was, having an identity crisis in 6, from what it looked like. And she much preferred to be Supergirl, but couldn't be that person because she had to be Kara Danvers, so she decided to be both. And then just ended up being one, while still living Kara's life and Supergirl's life as Supergirl, or Kara Zor-El. With Oliver, he didn't really have a choice in the matter of revealing his identity, because he had to protect his family and friends in the city. It was the only way they could get the FBI to look into Diaz, since in 6 of Arrow. So for Barry, he could reveal his identity to the world, but that would cause a much bigger threat to Iris and his own family if he did that. Now, honestly, if a threat emerged and it called Barry to be the Flash again, he would 100% do it without a doubt. Well, maybe not without a doubt. He might, question it. He might debate it with Iris, or just by himself. Who knows? But I would prefer by himself. But, Barry's the Flash. Iris has nothing to do with the Flash. But the point is that Diggle could appear in season 9. It's just, do we really need him to? And do we particularly want him to? Because, at this point, look, I love Dig, but with the route they're taking Diggle and Superman and Lois, I don't really care. And just to see not being part of the Arrowverse from what it looks like, I don't really care. I think Diggle is a done-and-done character. They wrapped him up in the best way possible. Why undo all that? I don't really see a need for him to be in this season. Would it be nice? Yeah, I guess, it's connected to Barry. But we don't need anything else from Dig. We don't. There's no reason for it. And again, if it's to help stop a speedster, you have Cisco, Wally, who can easily come in and help fill those shoes. Maybe even Oliver, if you really want to bring Oliver back that way. But Cisco, who works at Argus, could do that for Dig. Wally could come in and be Barry's backup to fight a speedster if need be. So, again, we have all these options to fulfill Diggle's shoes, and, it's not too hard to figure that out. So, who knows? But, yeah, thanks for watching the video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.